All right. Hello, all the places. Hello. So I'm just checking a couple of screens to make sure everything is working. If you jump on live, if you can give me some comments or some love hearts or something so that I know that I can be seen and that I'm live and that I can be heard and all the things. If you're here watching the replay, give me a little comment to let me know where you're from, where you're tuning in from. And I'm excited and a little bit nervous, let's be totally honest. Awesome. Thank you. I love it that the Birthing a New Earth Instagram page is replying to me, because that is Martina and that is my page specifically dedicated to this. Actually, Martina, I don't know if you can share this live onto that page simultaneously, or whether we need to do it later. Hey, Jessie from Melbourne. Hello. Amazing. Okay, so I am currently live in all of the places, which is hilarious because I've got a story to tell you first about why that's hilarious and why I definitely have like the little tiny twinge of anxiety of coming on here and doing this. This is kind of episode 1, I guess, of a weekly live that I am planning to do every single Thursday. Might not be at the same time every Thursday, but it is every Thursday, or that's kind of Wednesday evening, I guess, in America. So the intention behind doing these lives is to start to share much more publicly and openly about the Blue Diamond Souls, about the High Vibrational Collectives, and about birthing a new earth. So anyone who's been following me for a while knows, actually let me know in the comments, anyone who has read my book maybe perhaps already, but I wrote a book 2 years ago from the Blue Diamond Souls, and also created an online TV series 6 months ago. And I've been a little shy to come fully forward and talk about the Blue Diamond Souls and really share their message, because it's a big thing, right? To really sit into the world and give an uncensored message on platforms where we tend to get really censored. And I guess I didn't share super openly in the past because I was scared of censorship. I was scared of being shut down across all my platforms, and therefore my story was, if I got shut down on all my platforms, I would lose my business, like I would lose everything. And so I was scared and kind of sat on my hands a little bit. And a lot of my messages from the Blue Diamond Souls I've been sharing privately. So just a little private Telegram chat thread where people could ask any questions that they wanted to ask, and I would answer them safely over there in this Telegram chat thread, where I didn't have to worry about either getting censored, and I also didn't have to worry about people being like, oh my God, that's really weird, what is she talking about? And so I kind of hid over there in the Telegram threads for a little while. But the message that I've had really strongly from the Blue Diamond Souls and the High Vibrational Collectives is that this year the message needs to be shared, and that I need to put my human self who gets scared of all those things off to the side, and I need to just show up and share the message, and I need to share the message uncensored, and deal with whatever consequences come from me speaking in a fully uncensored manner. So I went from only sharing in a Telegram chat thread and nowhere else, fully private and safe, to right now we are currently live on Instagram, on Facebook, public and private, and 3 different groups, and also on my YouTube. So we're doing simultaneous live. That's kind of the way I do life, is that if I'm going to do it, I may as well just jump right in. I recently, a couple of weekends ago, I wanted to learn to ride a motorbike. So instead of doing what most people would do and learning to ride a motorbike, I went and learned to do motocross. So the first time I got on a motorbike was motocross. So I am the person who will, it's either nothing or it's all of it. So that's what we're doing right now at this moment, is I'm live across everything. If you are a person who has interest in the Blue Diamond Souls, the High Vibrational Collectives, you will want to tune in each Thursday, or even if you've missed it and you're watching the replay, you can always ask questions on the replays, and my team will harvest those questions and give them to me for the next week if you were not onto the live. If you're on the live, you are actually welcome to ask me anything that you like. scary. You can ask me anything that you like about the Blue Diamond Souls or the other high vibrational collectives. I obviously will just kind of speak with whatever comes through in the moment, but I also don't want this always to be like just me talking at you. I would love to have a shared conversation and a shared experience with you. So please, if you have questions, comments, do put them in there. I think it should work to come up and show me those questions and comments from all the different platforms. I'm pretty sure everything is working quite well. And like I say, if I miss anything, we will come back to it on the following Thursday and answer all of the things. So for people who are totally new to me talking about the Blue Diamond Souls, or who just, this is a new concept, I guess I'll kind of start there. And if while you're listening, you have anything that you would like to ask specifically either of me or actually of the Blue Diamond Souls. So the way this works is I am a medium for the collective called the Blue Diamond Souls, of which I'm about to tell you about. But if you have anything that you would like to ask me or them specifically, I'm also happy to channel their answers to you over live. That makes me a little like, oh my God. I have a few times, I think I have twice before over the socials channeled messages directly from them. And the reason I go, oh my God, is because I have zero filter when I'm channeling for them. You just get the answer you get. So I can't censor even myself. So the Blue Diamond Souls, where should I start? What I'm actually going to do as well, which has been something that I've been guided to do, is I'm going to share the book and also like a link to the PDF of the book, and also a link to access Birthing a New Earth, the whole online TV series. I'm going to gift that over the next 48 hours. So I'm going to put a link here. When I finish, I'm going to put a link into all the places underneath the lives where you can actually go in, and for the next 48 hours, you can access all of those for free. The thing that kind of pushed this and encouraged this wanting to give it away for free is I'm witnessing what's happening to our children around the planet, and I'm not okay with it. And I got really upset, and I was thinking, what can I do? Like, what can I even do about this, right? How can I contribute? How can I help? How can I support? And this is the way that I can help and I can support, is that I can give away this resource for free for people to choose to tune into, read to, watch, listen, and make their own decisions on what feels right for them and for their children. But I know definitely in around the world, there have been children being caused great illness, and some of them dying, and I'm not okay with that. I feel like I want to cry just even saying it, actually. So yeah, I want to share this resource to get it out into the world so that more people start to understand what this next generation are here for, because they are here with a really big mission, and we need to start to understand what that big mission is, and we need to start to hold respect for that big mission, and we need to start to understand how to hold this next generation in their big mission, because they are here to really support such a massive shift and a change. So here's the thing, I can feel the channel starting to open, so I'm just going to let the words flow right out and just trust that you're going to hear and receive what you want to receive. I was going to drop back and tell you the history in the past, but I can feel the channel just, I don't know if anyone heard it or felt it, my kind of tone of voice changed. So the channel's open, and I'm just going to tell you as it is and let it flow. Like I say, you're welcome to ask me anything, and hopefully I'll see the questions and come across them. But here's the thing, the next generation that have been coming through for around about the last 7 or 8 years quite intensely, but very much over the last 2 years, whilst we have been in this crazy pandemic experience, there is something greater happening. And so there are many high vibrational children being born right now. Anyone who is a parent to those or who is around those high vibrational children, I would love to hear from you. Like, you can comment on here, you can private message me, you can share with me your experience in any way that you wish. I also will be starting to, over the coming weeks, interview parents as well of these children. And so the ones that are coming in over the last couple of years and continuing to come in right now are of an incredibly high vibrational frequency, and they are here to make a rapid shift and change in the world. So where we were headed on our own is we were heading into a reality of our own demise, let's be honest. We were heading into a place where we were going to destroy ourselves somehow. And the High Vibrational Collective, so of which I speak for the Blue Diamond Souls, and there are 4 other collectives that I'm currently connected to, but I don't currently publicly speak for them at this point in time. But these High Vibrational Collectives, they are here to support us in not destroying humanity, because we have been seeing ourselves as just connected to this earth, just connected to this humanity, selfishly thinking that it's just us. There is nobody else here in this galaxy, in these universes. And it didn't kind of matter, I guess. So we were living in this selfish way where it didn't matter if we ended up destroying ourselves. We couldn't see the greater, bigger impact of that. And let's be honest, if we destroy Earth, she doesn't really care. She's just going to like kind of shake herself off a little bit and she'll regenerate. If we destroy ourselves, then that is obviously an entire humanity gone, which is where we were headed to. And so this shift over the last 2 years that we have been forced into is the great wake up, is the opportunity for us to stop, to pause, to slow down, to see the way that we have been doing things is not working, to see the way that there has been mass control and mass manipulation, and to choose to not engage in that mass control and manipulation any longer so that we can choose a different future. And so the High Vibrational Collectives that are coming through at this point in time are here to finally make that shift for us, because we can't make it on our own. We have been stuck in a lower, denser vibrational frequency and unable to see where we are, or those that have been able to see where we are, we've not been able to shift it and change it to the level, to the degree that it needed to be or needs to be shifted and changed. And so as we've been moving through this, lots of children are coming through right now. A lot of them are Blue Diamond Souls and of the other High Vibrational Collectives. If you are around children, you may likely have seen they are different. I've heard from quite a few people who have children at the moment who are like, they're like a little adult inside a tiny body. Like, I don't know what happened, but they seem to sit up quicker. Their eyes are brighter. They look like they're fully engaging in communication and conversation with us. They're learning to speak sooner. These are all the really beautiful positives, but also they are incredibly sensitive, like incredibly sensitive. And so also what we're seeing is a rise in diagnosis of, ADHD, or being on the spectrum, or of all sorts of different life experiences that show an incredible sensitivity to life itself, to energy, to people's energy, to light, to sound, to experiences, to being in busy places. We're seeing like a mass rise in this, and that's because these High Vibrational Collectives are so incredibly sensitive. So you think they're coming from 12th to 27th dimension, and they're coming down here where we're kind of funneling around third, trying to get to fifth, muddling our way through. It's a massive drop in frequency for them to be able to come into and to be trying to be in a human body. It's incredibly uncomfortable for them to be in a human body. And so therefore their response and their reaction to life is different. For them, where they have been experiencing life at such a high vibrational frequency, their communication is through energy. And yet here we're quite numb to energy, and so therefore we're not fully aware of what we're doing energetically for the majority of the population. Some of us are very sensitive, some of us are not, and so these generations that are coming through are incredibly sensitive. So they're not understood. So they're coming into a body that they already don't understand. They're coming into a dimension that feels uncomfortable for them. They're coming in here ready to make a very, very, very big mission that's probably pretty intense for them. And they're coming into a generation of people who don't yet quite understand them, or understand how to fully support them in their needs, and fully support them in everything that they need in order to be able to not only live an incredible life, but to live the life that they are here to make rapid change for us as humanity. So I feel like I'm going to backpedal a little bit now. That piece had to come through. The channel just kind of burst open and that piece had to come through. So I'll allow myself to kind of pause and go backwards a little bit and talk a little bit more about who they are. So I connected in with the Blue Diamond Souls about maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And since then, like I say, I've written a book and I've done the TV series, and I'm now going to start doing this weekly series for them as being their voice in the world. I've also supported them in birthing rituals where I'm supporting their soul, opening the portal for their soul to come through. And for some parents, also offering being able to sing the soul in. So as the parent is in, as the woman is in labor, singing the soul in, because the majority of us actually don't connect into our soul. We want to be able to really bring these souls fully in. And so the Blue Diamond souls, where they are from, is the way they explain it is the place that we call Lemuria. However, we think Lemuria is something that has gone and passed, but Lemuria is very, very much still here. It is just sitting within a different dimensional frequency, so we are not able to see it or communicate with it, or most people are not. The other 4 high vibrational collectives, which have started to communicate with me over the last about 8 or 9 months, at this point in time, have asked that I don't speak about who they are and that I don't share their message publicly. But the Blue Diamond Souls are very open to sharing. And so that's what this series is about. And I will continue to do this weekly for as long as the guidance is that I'm supposed to show up and do this weekly on a Thursday. So like I say, I'm really love to hear any of your questions. I'm super into responding, by the way, to questions, comments, experiences. And if I don't see them, you can always jump back on. I will jump back on and check them later, or my team will jump back on and check them later. I was just trying to check my laptop and see if there's anything coming through. I don't think there is. There's plenty of you watching, but everybody's like quiet, super quiet, like hello, hello. You're allowed to say hello and you're allowed to talk. So my motivation behind deciding that it is time to speak this publicly and stop only sharing it in this private Telegram chat thread is because I'm seeing so many people, I don't want to use the word struggling, but kind of struggling with their children, or with possibly their own experiences, but definitely with their children, and understanding how is the best way. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for saying hi. I like it. I love to respond and react. So when it's super quiet, I'm like, oh my God, this is sweet. And if anyone's on different channels and you are commenting and they're like, why is she not ignoring me? Sometimes the program that I'm on, it's trying to bring in 6 different streams at once of messages. So sometimes it doesn't work, but I'm super keen to hear everything. Amazing. Thank you, Kelly. Excited to hear about the Blue Diamond Souls. I'm excited to share about them. So yeah, my motivation is to really be able to support people who are parents of these high vibrational collectives, but also just people who are around other children, which, let's be totally honest, is all of us, and people who are interested in what does birthing a new earth mean? Where are we going? What is this current experience that we are in and we've been moving through for the last 2 years? So what we have been moving through literally is us birthing a new earth, is us birthing a new way. Hence why we see great discomfort around the world, things changing. We're seeing reality shift and change everywhere, right? We're seeing the financial world change. We're seeing our ability to travel or not travel change. We're seeing what happens in our medical experiences change. We're seeing this happen rapidly across the globe. And it feels incredibly uncomfortable. In fact, it feels sometimes like we're kind of in this vice and being squished and held and controlled, when actually what is happening is we are cracking into something greater. We are cracking into the new reality. We are cracking into the new earth that we are currently all birthing together. And the more that we are able to be consciously aware of the fact that we are birthing this new earth together, then the more that we can be out of the fear state, because what has been happening so long now for this 2 years and for so much longer is that we've been forced to be in fear state. So yes, we were heading towards our eventual demise, basically, and killing ourselves as a humanity. These high vibrational collectives are coming to shift and change us so that we do not hit that demise, because not so much about what it will do for us, but how that drastically impacts the rest of the universe, the other galaxies, and their own homes and the greater picture, right? So that's why they're coming to support us in this shift and change. However, there are always going to be forces that want us to be living in the fear. It's plain and simple. That's always going to happen. It doesn't matter where we are. There are going to be people who want us to live in the fear. And so that's what we have been fed for so long now, is this energy of fear and this energy of repression and this energy of stay small, and this energy of like, don't put your head up, don't say anything, don't do anything, don't move, or else you're going to get censored, which, you know, as I spoke at the beginning of this, is the reason why it took me so long to come on here and share so openly. And I am sharing so openly, knowing that there are risks to that and knowing that I could lose, you know, whatever, social media, whatever, through speaking out loud. But that is my drive, is to support this shift and this change, is to support those who are willing to be open and to listen and to see that we are all part of this piece together, that in fact we all need to take our place on the stage, so to speak, that we all need to choose to show up for something greater. And yet sometimes it's really scary. Hey, Sarah, you love this so much. I had a super interesting spirit baby reading after another loss at Christmas time. She said some wild things about sun souls. Yeah, like this is the thing, right? We're in such a different time right now, and starting to really honestly realize that we can have conversations with the future souls that are coming in is so incredibly important. So whether it's something that you can access yourself, or whether it's something that you ask somebody else to support you with, but if you know that there are spirit souls, baby souls around you ready to come through you or those around you, the more we can show up and dedicate to hearing the message that they have. And yes, sometimes it can be some pretty wild things that they have to say to us, but the more that we can listen to that, the more we can show up for it. The more we can show up for the shift, the more we can show up for the change, the more we can show up for who we are supposed to be in this world, but also just the more we can show up to support this next generation in living the life that they are truly not only born to live for themselves, but also born to live for us as a collective. And yes, I mean a collective of humanity, but I even mean beyond that. Can we stretch our imagination even further, that maybe all of life is not simply about us, but that collective as well on a greater scale? That's what we need to start to see. That's what we need to start to commit to, or definitely what I'm choosing to commit to, is surging a path forward so that our generation, the generation who are old enough to be listening to this, and who are old enough to be birthing this generation, so that we are holding a permission field for them as they are coming through. Because can you imagine, well, most of us were actually what I was about to say. So can you imagine being born into a space where it's not okay to be you, it's scary to be you, people think you're weird and a little bit crazy? These children hear and see things and speak different things. A number of parents that I have spoken to that say, yeah, like and these are the ones who are open to it and don't shut it down, who are saying, yeah, like my child often is speaking all sorts of different languages. Like I don't understand what they're saying, but they're speaking all these different types of languages, or they seem to be communicating with somebody that I can't see, or they know things that I don't know. They see things I don't know, they know things I don't know, and they hear things that I don't know. And for a lot of people, that's scary. For a lot of parents, that's scary. It's like, oh my God, because we were all brought up in the generation that if you're speaking different languages, and if you're talking to things that are not there, and if you're seeing things that are not there, there's possibility maybe somebody's going to lock you up somewhere. Like that's reality. That's the reality that we grew up in. And definitely, you know, one of the fears that I even needed to move through was stepping into the world and speaking this is like, oh my God, people are going to think I'm crazy. And, you know, all the stories that I had, because as we grew up, I don't know about all of you, but definitely that's what I saw. That's what I witnessed. People who started to really open up and see things differently, or feel things differently, or speak things differently, some of those being my close friends, then got taken away forever and put in various institutions, because obviously they were crazy if they could see something that the rest of us couldn't see. Funny that, again, it's the fear. We're scared of the things that we don't know, because if someone is not a harm to anybody else, does it matter if they're seeing things that we're not seeing? And if we don't believe them, then don't listen to them. If we do believe them, then do listen to them. Kelly, yes, I can feel both forces. Love it. Sarah, working on clearing my shit so you can do it yourself. Yes. Amazing. Love it. I totally see that for you. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Telekinesis. Can't wait to see toddlers moving things across the room. It's coming. All of that is going to become such a normal reality for us when we can allow ourselves to hold a permission field for this next generation that doesn't scare them into thinking, if I do that, something bad will happen to me. right? The more permission that we hold, it's fascinating to witness what they can do, what they can shift, what they can change, how they're here to support us. You know, something interesting, funny side tangent that kind of wants to come in, well, it's not side tangent, but just an experience. You know, so we've been in this experience of the world being locked down. As we've been in this experience of the world being locked down and schools being closed and children needing to be homeschooled because there was no school for them to go to, or because they can't cross the state line to go to their school that's on the other side of the street, but they're not allowed to go because like there's police there saying this street, this town, this state is locked down, and you know, all of this experience happening. That's because this next generation are not supposed to go to schools in the same way that we went to school. That's why that shit's happening. They're cheering. They're like, yes, thank goodness. Can you please start to see that we are not supposed to go into these institutions in the way that you have created them for us? We are not supposed to sit in an institution. Basically, it's like sending them into their own little prison. It needs to shift and it needs to change. So actually, the greatest thing that has happened for the next generation through these 2 years is a shift and a change to their schools. Some of them being told, well, you can't go back to school, and masses of parents needing now to find a different way. I know and have clients who are, you know, creating different community schools or creating different ways for their children to get an education in the way that suits this next generation, instead of the way that we were forced to have our education, which really didn't suit us anyway, but it's what was forced, what was done, and it's what we had to do. But it doesn't have to be that way anymore. So all the parents that were, you know, terrified of like, it's impossible for me to school any other way. Like, sure, maybe you actually physically can't homeschool because of the resources. And so therefore they haven't done it a different way. And now suddenly having to see things differently and going, oh, actually, now that my child can't go to school, what are the other ways? And when you look at it in that way, there are so many other ways that it can be done. There are community schools right now being created where groups of parents are getting together, and teachers who no longer have jobs getting together and finding ways like, how do we do this in community? How do we parent and co-parent? And when I say co-parent, I don't have children, but I consider myself as a co-parent of all of the next generation. How do we co-parent them in a way that is us being guardian, support, loving, holding space, being excited for their growth, instead of strangling the living life out of them, which is what most of us experience? Alicia, yeah, the more permission we can hold. Yes. I feel like it's a really valuable phrase to have. It's like, where can you simply hold a permission field for people, but also especially for this next generation coming through, that allows them to see that they can create a different way, and allows them to see that we are willing to support that different way, that we're not going to shut down the different way, that we are going to listen and open our eyes and discover, yeah, there are different ways, and we're willing to work with that with the next generation, not like they're dumb or stupid or children, like, yes, okay, they're younger, but they know exactly what they want. They know the best way for them to learn. They know the best way for them to be educated. We need to begin to work with them instead of forcing them into something that doesn't work for them, that doesn't fit for them. And so that's what's happening across the world right now. Yes, exactly how you felt about school. It's your own little prison. Yeah. It's so amazing. We're looking at different ways to educate our children. School was traumatic for me. Same. I celebrate looking for new ways to do life in all ways. Hell yes, Kelly, I'm so with you for that. School for me was totally traumatic. It is a prison. You're shoved into a space that doesn't feel right. You're told what you can and you can't wear. You're shoved into a room that doesn't make any sense to you. You don't actually get to learn the things that you want to learn because it's created in order to shut us down. And then we have all of these amazing, people who go out and want to educate the children, which I think is such an amazing career choice for people, but then they're forced into having to work in an institution, and their hands are tied on different ways that they can do things. Hi, Tennille. Facing the resistance of changing this for your kids right now. Working through how I can still be myself, show up how I want it to a business, but still have kids home and balance it. It's huge. working through the resistance because you know it's the right thing to have them home. This is massive, right? So people who are parents who have children who are at that school age, who have been, number one, probably forced into having them home because of life the last 2 years. Number two, probably having to make across the world some pretty intense decisions right now of if you don't make this particular choice medically for your child, then they can't come back to the school. So there's these really big choices that parents are being caught with at the moment. And then living in the reality of, well, I have to work or run a business, need to create income, obviously, so I have to work, and then I need to find a different way to be able to do this. And it is massive on the parents right now. But one of the ways that I see this, and one of the things that I've heard from the Blue Diamond Souls, is the parents that are having this experience right now, you are here at the forefront. You are here as a leader for what is to shift and change for generations to come. And so, yes, there's a piece of needing to look at how does this impact your personal situation, of course, and how does this impact you and your child and your home life and how you're able to run a business. But also, you would not have been asked to do this. You would not have been given, especially if you've got a high vibrational child, you would not have been given a high vibrational child at this particular moment in time if you weren't here as part of the change. And I feel like that's really important to actually receive. If you are a parent at this time with children where you're needing to deal with this piece around what happens with them, are we perhaps finding a different way? The ones that are like, okay, I think we need to be finding a different way. If you are thinking that way, it is likely that your child is one of the high vibrational collectives, because that's why you would be thinking, rather than just create it and make it and force it back to being how it was. And look, that also no judgment against the parents that is the way. Like maybe that is the reality for a lot of people, and I have zero judgment around that. But if you have a high vibrational collective child, you will be seeing and feeling that there is a different way that this needs to go. You would not have been given this role, this mission, this job, or even this child if you didn't hold a piece of the puzzle around the way that we are shifting and changing humanity right now, and the way that we are shifting and changing how we do things. Everything is shifting and changing. It's not only the schooling system, it's how we hold our leaders accountable. It's how we allow ourselves to be treated. It's how the financial system is. It's absolutely everything is changing. And so if you're one of those parents, it means that you have been chosen, or you made the choice to come here and take on that mission with these high vibrational children, because you have a role to play in the future generations that are coming. So the discomfort that it is right now to sit with this and try and figure out, how do I do a different way for my children, whether it be keeping them home and homeschooling them or unschooling them, whether it be creating community schooling with a whole bunch of parents who are in a similar situation, whatever it is that needs to be created for you. You are doing this for, yes, your children, but you are doing this massively for the future generations that are here to come. And so likely you may also have had uncomfortable experiences yourself as a child going through school, so that you will have a deeper understanding of the fact that it never was right anyway. It hasn't been right for a very, very long time. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. For some people it does, but for a lot of the population it doesn't work. So you are part of that shift and that change. And I'm super, by the way, open to answering any other questions or any other comments that come up around that, either in this live. I'm going to wrap this one up soon, either in this live or when I go back and have a look at all of the comments across the different channels to answer in next Thursday's live. So like I said, this is going to happen every single Thursday. I can't guarantee you at a time. I'm just going to tune in and feel the energy on a Thursday, and when it's time for me to sit in the chair, open the channel and share the message, that's what I'm going to do. But obviously it's across every single platform. So it'll be easy for you to find. So if you know that you've asked a question on 1 week and I didn't get to it or I didn't answer it, please tune in for the next one, because I'm likely going to answer it there. So I think I'm going to start to wrap this up by saying I'm going to put a link into all of the comments on all of these threads that for the next 48 hours will give free access to the Blue Diamond Souls PDF version of the book that we will email you, and also will give you free access to the Birthing a New Earth TV series that I actually created for an online TV platform, and for various reasons chose that I was going to also have that it is on that platform, but I was going to also have it on my own platform. And so it's been on my own platform for a little while, and I have been selling it, but what I want to do over the next 48 hours is just give it. Like, if you feel like this is in any way part of your path, I want you to be able to have easy access to the book and to all of the lives, and then to all of the videos that I've created. Sorry, they're not lives, they're very professionally created content all around Bali with a whole film crew and the whole bit. So watch those, listen to those, read the book. Anything that inspires you with questions, you can ask them here. I will also put actually into the chat a link to my Telegram chat channel where you can always ask anything. And once again, they'll be answered in all of these Thursday lives. So keep an eye out in the chat thread in about the next 20 minutes or so while I go in and grab those links. One, so you can get free access to the book and the TV show. One, so that you can join the Telegram chat thread and ask me anything that you like. I am always willing now to answer anything which is scary. Yes, so we're still selling hard copies of the book. Yeah, it's not my style of reading either. I have to hold the book. I have to feel it, or else I actually can't read. It's an interesting quirk of mine, but I have to touch the book. So yeah, it might be the same. Yes, absolutely. You can still get the paperback copy on Amazon. So you can check that out on Amazon, but I'll also put the link below, so you can definitely grab hold of the book. You're the same, Alicia. It's funny, isn't it? Like, I don't know, just read it on digital form and nothing happens. It doesn't. And since I've been traveling for so long, I haven't actually had books that you can touch for ages. And I recently bought myself a couple of paperback books, and then I just went insane, and I now have a massive library of paperback books, and I'm obsessed with reading again. And I'm loving it again. So some of us can do digital, some of us can't. I need to touch it. Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much for those that tuned in for this very first live across all the different platforms. I'm really excited to be starting to share this message with you. And I look forward to tuning in every single week, either by myself, or sometimes I also will be interviewing super cool, awesome people, mostly parents, so that we can hear their experience as well. So much love to you wherever you are in this crazy ass world right now. Hope that your life experience is in a way that is okay for you. Pleasure, Kelly. Thank you for your comments. I really respond super well to comments and to knowing that I'm not just talking at a screen. I'm talking to humans. Since these days we can't be in person, this is as good as it gets. Amazing. So wherever you are around the world, so much love. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me, and I'll see you all next week.